Have you ever noticed yourself trailing a few paces behind your friends or family during a simple stroll through the park? Or perhaps you have found yourself looking down at your feet more often just to make sure you are steady. It feels safer to slow down, does it not? We often think that by moving more carefully and reducing our speed, we are protecting our joints and preventing a fall. But what if I told you that very caution, that decision to take it slow, might actually be the hidden culprit behind why your hips feel stiffer, tighter, and weaker every single month? It is a bit of a shock to hear, but for many of us, walking slowly is not just a symptom of getting older, it is actually a primary cause of hip decay. Today, we are going to pull back the curtain on this hidden habit and explore the 3 specific reasons why walking slowly is essentially telling your hips to retire early. Most importantly, I am going to show you how you can flip the switch to regain that strength and independence you deserve. Because growing older does not mean giving up. It means using smarter strategies to keep your body in the game. I know how frustrating it is when you feel your body changing in ways you did not ask for. You might feel like your legs are getting heavy or that getting out of a chair requires a bit more oomph than it used to. It is easy to blame it all on the candles on your birthday cake, but there is a specific physical mechanism at play here that almost no one talks about. We have been told our whole lives to slow down and take it easy as we age, but in this video, we are going to uncover how that well-intentioned advice is actually sapping the power from your pelvic stabilizers and leaving your hip joints vulnerable. We are going to look at the science of muscle recruitment, the secret of joint lubrication, and the surprising way your brain handles balance. By the end of our time together today, you will have a clear, actionable plan to transform your daily walk from a chore into a powerful, strengthening exercise that protects your mobility for years to come. Before we jump into the heart of the matter, if you care about staying healthy and independent, consider subscribing to our channel and turning on notifications. We share the kind of senior health tips that focus on real-life movement and vitality, the stuff that often gets overlooked in a busy doctor's office. And while you are at it, let me ask you a quick question. Are you watching from the United States, the United Kingdom, Canada, or somewhere else? Drop a comment below with where you are from. I am always so curious to see how far our senior health community reaches, and it honestly warms my heart to know we are all working toward a stronger future together. Now, let's talk about the first big reason why that slow pace is doing more harm than good, and it has everything to do with what I like to call the power engine of your body. When you walk at a brisk, purposeful pace, your body naturally uses a large range of motion. Your leg swings forward, your heel strikes the ground, and most importantly, you use your glutes and your hip flexors to push off. Think of your hips like a pendulum on a clock. When the pendulum swings with vigor, every part of the mechanism is engaged and working in harmony. However, when we slow down significantly, we stop swinging and we start shuffling. This shuffling motion is a silent killer for hip strength because it bypasses the very muscles meant to keep you upright and stable. Specifically, your gluteus medius, which is that muscle on the side of your hip, begins to go dormant. In simple science terms, walking slowly reduces what we call the ground reaction force. When you walk faster, the ground actually pushes back against you with more energy, and your muscles have to wake up to handle that energy. When you slow down, your muscles decide they are not needed for the heavy lifting anymore. It is like a car idling in a driveway for years. Eventually, the battery dies and the parts seize up. For many seniors, walking slow leads to something called gluteal amnesia. Your brain literally forgets how to fire those hip muscles because you are not giving them a reason to work. This leads to that heavy leg feeling where every step feels like you are trudging through mud. Picture a neighbor of mine, let us call her Martha. Martha started walking very slowly because she was worried about her knees. After 6 months, she found she could barely lift her legs to step over a curb. She thought her hips were giving out, but the reality was that her muscles had simply gone to sleep because her slow pace never asked them to wake up. To fix this, you do not need to run a marathon. Simply focus on a purposeful stride. Imagine you are late for a lunch date with a dear friend. That slight increase in intent forces your hips to engage and keeps the power engine running. Moving on to the second reason, we need to talk about what is happening inside the joint itself, specifically regarding lubrication and bone density. There is a common myth that our joints are like car tires that eventually wear out the more we use them. But the human body is much more magical than a machine. Our joints are living tissue that actually gets healthier with the right kind of stress. Inside your hip joint, there is a wonderful substance called synovial fluid. Think of this as the oil for your hinges. However, this oil is not pumped by a heart. It is moved by pressure and movement. When you walk slowly, you are barely putting any pressure on the joint, and your range of motion is very small. This means the fluid never reaches the far corners of the joint. Over time, those areas become dry and brittle, leading to that grinding sensation or the stiff hips you feel first thing in the morning. Furthermore, there is a biological law called Wolff's Law, which states that your bones will adapt to the loads under which they are placed. If you walk slowly and lightly, your brain receives a message that your hip bones do not need to be very strong. Consequently, your body may actually decrease bone density in the hip neck, increasing the risk of fractures. It sounds ironic, does it not? By walking slowly to stay safe, you might actually be making your bones more fragile. It is like a sponge that stays compressed in one corner. Eventually, it loses its ability to bounce back. Science shows that seniors who maintain a walking speed of at least 2.5 miles per hour have significantly better hip bone density than those who stroll. To counter this, I want you to visualize your hip joints being bathed in healing fluid with every strong step you take. Instead of thinking of walking as wearing out your hips, think of it as polishing them. A little more thump in your step sends a signal to your bones to stay dense and your joints to stay greased. You will notice that after just a week of walking with a bit more intention, that morning stiffness often starts to fade away. If you are finding these tips useful so far, please give this video a thumbs up. It really helps spread the word to other seniors who might benefit from hearing this. And if you have not yet, do subscribe for more little-known health insights. I hope you are taking notes, because this third reason is perhaps the most surprising of all. The third reason walking slowly weakens your hips involves your balance and your brain's internal GPS. Most people believe that walking slowly makes them more stable. However, the biomechanics tell a different story. When you walk very slowly, you actually spend more time in what is called the single leg stance phase of a step. That is the moment when one foot is in the air and all your weight is on the other hip. Because you are moving so slowly, you are forcing that one hip to stabilize your entire body weight for a longer duration in a static, weak position. This creates a wobble. To compensate for this wobble, your body starts to use the wrong muscles, often tightening your lower back or your quads, which leads to chronic pain. Think about riding a bicycle. Is it easier to stay upright when you are moving at a decent clip or when you are barely crawling along? We all know the answer. Momentum is your friend. Momentum provides a natural stability that takes the pressure off your hip stabilizers. When you walk with a bit of speed, your nervous system uses proprioception, which are tiny sensors in your joints and feet that tell your brain where you are in space. Slow walking dulls these sensors. It is like trying to navigate a room in the dark versus having a dim light on. By picking up the pace just a little, you turn the lights on in your nervous system. You become more reactive, your balance actually improves, and your hips do not have to work twice as hard to keep you from tipping over. I once worked with a gentleman named Arthur who was terrified of falling, so he walked with tiny, slow baby steps. He felt like he was constantly on a tightrope. Once we got him to take longer, slightly faster strides, he realized the tightrope feeling vanished because his momentum was doing the balancing for him. It was a total light bulb moment for him, and it can be for you too. It might feel a bit unsettling to learn that the slow walking you thought was protecting you might be the thing holding you back, but please remember that knowledge is power. Now that you know, you can make simple changes to protect your health starting today. You do not need to overhaul your entire life overnight. You do not need to become a power walker in neon spandex tomorrow morning. Even adding just 10% more speed to your walk to the mailbox or the grocery store can spare your hips a lot of weakness. Imagine walking up your porch steps with ease again, or being the one who leads the way on a family walk instead of the one trying to keep up. That is the difference these small tweaks can make over time. Your body is incredibly resilient, and it is never too late to start sending it better signals. So, to recap what we have covered, first, walking slowly leads to muscle dormancy, especially in the glutes, which are your primary hip protectors. We need to walk with purpose to keep the engine running. Second, your hip joints and bones need the pressure and range of motion that comes with a faster pace to stay lubricated and strong. Movement is truly the lotion for your joints. And third, momentum is the key to balance. Walking too slowly makes you more unstable and forces your hips into a stressful, wobbly state. By picking up the pace, you are actually making yourself safer and more balanced. It is all about giving your body the right challenges so it stays capable of handling your daily life. I want to leave you with a final thought as we wrap up. Growing older is a journey, and yes, it comes with its share of challenges. The aches, the stiffness, and the fear of losing your independence can feel heavy and discouraging at times. I truly hear you, and I understand that some days it feels easier to just stay in the slow lane. But I want you to know that you are not alone in this, and your potential for improvement does not have an expiration date. Every small step you take, every time you choose to walk with a bit more vigor and a bit more pride, you are casting a vote for your future freedom. You are telling your body that you are still in charge, that you still have places to go and people to see. One walk at a time, you are reclaiming the strength that belongs to you. Now, I would love to hear from you. Which of these 3 reasons surprised you the most? Was it the idea of muscle dormancy, the joint lubrication, or the balance science? Or perhaps you have noticed your own walking speed changing lately. Share your story or any questions in the comments below. I read every single one, and we all learn so much from each other's experiences. This community is here to support you, so do not be shy. If you are still with me and you are determined to stay strong and walk with purpose, type A1 in the comments to affirm it. It is a small way to commit to yourself and show this community that you are ready for a stronger tomorrow. And if this video helped you or opened your eyes even a little, please hit the like button. It really helps others find this information so they can stay mobile too. Don't forget to subscribe and turn on notifications so you never miss out on our upcoming health insights. We have so much more to share about keeping your heart, your brain, and your legs in peak condition for your golden years. Stay strong, stay healthy, and remember that your independence is carried by your legs. Keep taking those small, purposeful steps for your health. They truly add up to giant strides in your freedom. I will see you in the next video.